Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Inside Out 2 is the sequel to the 9-year-old original film called Inside Out. So fingers crossed on this one. Joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust have been running a successful operation by all accounts. However, when anxiety shows up, they aren't sure how to feel. For a sequel to come out 10 years later, it's always like, oh, well, is it too late? Is it even going to be good? Like that's always the question that comes up into interplay. And the trailers really did not give that much away. They were very vague about what this movie was about. And so going in, I was still looking forward to it because I enjoyed the first Inside Out a lot. That first one just works a lot. And it's such a creative film. And so when it comes to this one, it's like, what are they going to do next? Okay, all we know is that there's somewhat of like a new emotion called anxiety, and that just seems like it's somewhat the similar like emotion as fear, that it's afraid of the future. And so but anxiety actually actually really works in this movie a lot. So basically in this movie, Riley is like 13 years old now. She finally hit puberty, so this movie kind of just like is like that's the focus point, is that Riley when she hits puberty for the first time. And it's like you can do a lot of interesting things with that. So when Riley is hitting puberty, you have all these different emotions now coming into interplay, like anxiety, envy, ennui. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, and embarrassment. All of them pretty much have a cool interplay. Like they do their own things in the film. The only one that honestly kind of feels left out is Envy. This character just feels tacked in for the sake of having another character in there. I honestly don't think a lot of of this character really made a big difference. And which is unfortunate, because there was a couple of times where the character had a good couple like moments, like a couple of good laughs, but when you think of it as a whole, it's like, what was even really the character there for? And there's even times where a lot of the characters do feel like the same emotions, like I mentioned at the beginning of the review. Anxiety feels like fear, like in somewhat, but and like not even that is like outside of, while joy, anger, and joy, anger, fear, and disgusting are going off to this adventure. They kind of have this like emotional bit moment where anger is somewhat joyful or trying to cheer up like another character, or you have joy that is like sad, and it's like, wait, so they can go intertwine with each other's character like emotions. I don't know, like that's something that just kind of popped up in my head, but either way, it actually works. And so that's kind of like what matters. Like, does it work in the film? And it honestly does, because it does hit those feels a lot. This movie just really gives off like old Pixar films type of vibe, where it's like, okay, it is for kids, but there is that adult humor in the movie. And there was plenty of times in this movie I was just like having a good time. Like I was really like laughing in this movie. And this movie is going to hit people in different ways just based on their age. Like for example, as a kid, this movie is an adventure movie towards them, but as an adult, this movie is going to hit those feels a lot. And like the movie just does a great job at that, and it's going to live on for a lot longer than most films that come out to this day, because they're when you come back and rewatch it every time, it's gonna feel differently than you watched it before. I'm gonna give Inside Out 2 a B plus. It is a really good time at the theaters. If you guys have nothing else to go out and see, if you have nothing else to do, go check out Inside Out 2. It is a great time, and it is that classic Pixar that we always really wanted. And Pixar has to go back on this grind of putting out sequels to make a name for themselves once again, because Bob JPEG fucked things up for them. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Thank you very much for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.